I'm really excited. I'm going on a hunt with my dad. Yeah, it's really just fun spending some time with my dad in the woods. It feels really cool to be part of a tradition.
Being out in the woods with your family, maybe it's not in the woods, maybe it's farm country or out in the mountains. You know, being able to have that experience with your family, whether it's, and it doesn't necessarily have to be family, it can be close friends, you know, whatever you get from it. Being out in nature and doing whatever kind of sportsman you are, whether you're just a target shooter or you're a bird hunter or you're a deer hunter or larger game, it's an experience. But it's not necessarily about the bagging the game. It's about having a firearm that you can trust and having that experience and sharing it with those you're close to. And you know, I hope to pass it on to my son and hopefully future generations.
My dad gave me my first Remington 700, I'd say probably about when I was 12 years old. It was 30-06, and we deer hunted with it. He taught me how to use it safely and you know, the ways to get it into a deer stand safely and all that. My dad's been a hunter safety instructor since I was 3, by the way. So I grew up with hunter safety. It's a big thing in my family. I have 2 boys and 1 girl now, and I'm doing the same thing with them that my dad did. I'm passing on the torch.
Favorite hunting memories I've had with the Remington Model 700 have been with my son the last couple of years that he's been old enough to hunt. It was exciting for me to do, to buy and put together and match the scope up with it and have it all mounted and ready to present to him. And his birthday's in December, which is too late after the hunting season's over. So I wanted him to have it early, and I was very excited to give it to him. I don't know who was more excited, he or I.
I trust my dad because he knows a lot about guns, and I know that he bought it for me for a reason. For the time that I've had it, it's been very safe and accurate when I shoot it out on the range. It's very dependable, and it makes it a lot better to be able to shoot something when you're hunting, but just being out there with my dad has been really great for me. It's a good learning experience.
My dad and I have shot recreationally for pretty much my whole life, and my dad was checking range availability at our local club and saw an ad for one of the high power matches, and we went out and shot it and got hooked and been with it ever since. That was in April of 2005. We've had a lot of good experiences out hunting and just having a lot of fun together and just doing stuff that really made me who I am today. A couple years ago, myself and my dad, we both got our Distinguished Rifleman's badge at the same time, and we were able to go up on stage, and that was a great experience. And shortly after that, we were put on Team Remington, and we've been shooting with Remington all around the country, and it's been a great experience. We got a standing ovation when we went up on stage together, and it felt good.
Being on the same team as my dad is really fun. He's a really good dad, and we get to bond a lot while we're up here. It's a little difficult when he tries to coach me, but I know he's trying his best, and I've shot some of my best scores with him. I think we've definitely grown a lot closer since we've been hanging out every day, staying in condo together, pretty much doing everything together. It's been really good for us.
My dad done it with me. I was the oldest of 6 kids, and my dad managed to take most, if not all of us, hunting at one time or another. And I've also had my kids hunting with me. I've always tried to take all of them, sometimes one-on-one or sometimes all together. But remembering myself being the oldest of 6 kids, how much I enjoyed those one-on-one times with my dad and learning the safety rules and some of the tricks that go along with hunting. I know with all of my kids, I've had them express the good memories they've had from those men.
It's very important for me to, I've got 3 sons. Mitch is the oldest of 3 sons, and the others are 13 and 9 years old. And all of them have been introduced to firearms, and I plan on buying them a Model 700, although I don't want them to know that maybe right now. So they can know it. The timing will be a surprise, but I wouldn't look anywhere else when it's time to outfit his brothers for hunting.
As a parent, I think it's important, and a grandparent, to ask your child to hunt with you before you ask anybody else. It was time for her to start hunting, and I felt that you couldn't go wrong by buying another 700. And they offered it in a youth model, which I think is very important with our younger generation that's trying to get into hunting, It fits her. It does everything we want it to do. She can hunt antelope with it. She can hunt deer with it. And it just fits her to a T. And yet I think the reliability is the biggest thing.
I started hunting when I was about his age, and it was you know, one of the few times having two brothers, you're you know, kind of vying for your dad's time, and that was one of those times where it was, you know, just me and my dad being out in the woods. And you know, it's funny because when you're hunting, you can't do a lot of talking and everything, but you know, the talking about what's going to happen before you get there, and the talking about what did happen when you were out there, and you know, the safety and you know, learning so much about nature. And you know, it's something that I started when I was Ben's age, and now I get to do that with him. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of come full circle. You know, and hopefully I'll be able to buy my grandson, your son, someday, a Remington firearm. And then, you know, he'll be able to teach him what I was passed down to me from my father, and I've passed down to him. And
It's only if I have a son.
you'll have a son.
Hunting in our family is family. That's basically it. It's been myself and my sons. So I look forward to having my grandson join us and start it all over again.
Now you're going to come along, and I hope you don't mind being the cook and the cleaning person for that first year, because that's kind of the rite of passage. So, is that all right?
Does that mean you were?
Yeah, I did it.
How old?
I did it when I was 12.
That means I don't get to do it until all this stuff.
Loopholes. You know, someday when he's ready and he's big enough, I'll be able to pick him up a Remington 700, and hopefully he has as much success with it as I've had.